Saka, if I don't have the facts, how can I just come and say something? Saka, ndipo patofana kitabu kuti Mukoma Masimba, he needs maybe to educate himself or re-educate himself with all these things. I to say, reconstruction actors, we don't have to spend 6 hours trying to define something, right?
Yeah, no, if I'm a mentee and you are my mentor, then there must be a transfer of knowledge. If I'm a teacher and you are a student and I have nothing to offer, I can't be a teacher.
Yes.
So some people say a teacher is a student. The only difference is that he learns before other students, so that you have a temporary monopoly of knowledge. But you don't have a permanent monopoly of knowledge, because life itself is incapable of being absorbed by one person.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
So when you are here, like last night, I was saying to Mukoma Masimba earlier, I said, okay, you talk with Mason and Mfudzi, and you arrive at some conclusion that Mfudzi knows me more than you. And you say you are my mentee. Mfudzi says, I can't be mentored by Mawere, because I know everything. So where do you go? You then call me to come on a live show, take hours arguing with me. I got an affidavit that was signed by me, and Mfudzi is using my own affidavit to argue with me. You said this last year, and today you are saying this. So where are we going? If I say I'm not a shareholder of First Bank, he says, but you said you're a shareholder through somebody. Yes, I can say this is my grandson through my son. So what's the problem? But he's not my son.
Well, that's exactly. Those last conversation, Miss Mawere, first of all, Miss Mufudzi wari palive vachitaura. Then later, the gentleman who was here, he said he knows everything. No, the gentleman who was here earlier on, he was speculating. Right? And Mufudzi by fire by Kenya. No. This guy was talking, I want to challenge him. Okay, what's your question? She goes, no, what in that no, you were speculating the information that you have. Do you know Mr. Mawere? Yes, I know you. I know you very well. Then from what I got, that I think my
I only met
or something like
no, I only met him once in my life.
Right.
Yeah, so if you ask him which side of the bed do I sleep?
Saka ndivopa ne problem papa, because even brother Mfudzi vakauya vakati vanokuzivai, and he was adamant to make a point kuti no. Mr. Mawere was not a director, he was a shareholder. He was a shareholder of Kamasaka, which
I was neither a shareholder nor a director. So, and the company in Zimbabwe, you can go to the company registry to check the list of directors. It's public information. But how can you be so lazy to come on an air and say, I know somebody? Huh? Even a pimp doesn't even know the prostitute.
Saka, Mawere, what do you think about it? Kuti vanhu, they are coming on public, on air, and they are character assassinating you, and they are making up stories as they go without using any facts. Is that not a defamation of character?
It's defamation, but even Ukafa mentioned today, the people like this are experts in creating fiction. Yeah. So how do you stop people who have gone so far? Imagine flying all the way from Zimbabwe to come to the UK to be so limited that you pretend to know what you don't know. I'm more Zimbabwean than people in Zimbabwe. Right now, he knows everything in Zimbabwe. If you ask where is it raining, he tells you it's raining in Chirezi. How many millimeters, he tells you.
It has been a personal enlightenment, personal discovery for me. Kuti, they claim to know things that they do not know. And especially when outside of Zimbabwe, they know everything that's going on in Zimbabwe.
But they don't even know who their councillor is. They don't even know who their MP is, where they live. But they will tell you about SMM. And you heard what the senior was saying. And it do say. And but I got my V11. Well, we just say one kind of constitutional court. Once you the V11, Hakuna.
Well, Mr. Senior was adamant Kuti Mr. Mawere ran away.
Yeah.
He ran away.
He ran away. And I tell him, no, I've not been in Zimbabwe for the last 32 years. I have not lived in Zimbabwe. So where did I run away from? Because when you run away from something, Mason, there's something that you have run away from must be there.
Exactly, that's my point, because it contradicts, it defies logic and reasoning. Because Mr. Mawere, if you run away, that means you are a fugitive. Now, if you're a fugitive, you're on the wanted list. If you're on the wanted list, why would you come on a public platform? What's the exposure?
No, you are not eligible for citizenship when you are a fugitive. You can't be a fugitive and then be eligible for citizenship. There are minimum residence requirement. You can't just like a Zongoro or what? Or a grasshopper, you just land and you get citizenship. Yeah? And you know which country they're insulting? South Africa. That's South Africa, one Pama condom, and not citizenship.
Saka ndimo pamunofanda ndo patinofanda kuti sei kurangarira ipapa kuti no vanhu ngavasaclaime kutaura zvazvo ina hangu handitaure zvandisingazive, right? Ndotaura zvandinoziva. And I stand to be corrected. Kana munhu akauya akati no Mason, this you are wrong. Then you can correct me. That's how I can evolve.
But they're arguing with you. But imagine two blind people arguing.
Yeah.
And they all don't know me, but they're talking about me. Then once you are not
yes. Even Mufunzi, he argued with me, that gentleman. Akatanzi, no. Iwewe kana usingazive, unofana kuita sekungonyarara. Ndikauya knowledge, chingoteerera. No. Inini, from what I know, if somebody wants to gain something or to know something, you question. And only until you question something, ndikampa my example, even all our scientific research and our scientific discovery, there were gentlemen, genius, intelligent gentlemen, vakabvunza big questions, and they went on to investigate that question. Saka iwewe haukauya kuti iwewe.
But if you don't ask the questions, then like somebody says, Joe Mapira, was Mawere not benefiting from SM? How do you benefit? Even the word benefiting is like a blesser. Have you ever seen a company that blesses people? You produce nothing, you invoice Mason. Have you ever seen an invoice?
No, I haven't.
Yeah?
Or have I ever seen an invoice?
No, I mean, I send an invoice to you. You don't know me. Would you pay it?
Yeah.
Is it a benefit?
Well, if you send me an invoice and I don't know it, how can I pay it?
Yeah, when I go to cash and carry, I pick up the goods and value and it.
Yeah.
Then I go to point of sale. They count the goods, they give me the bill. I pay. Am I benefiting the store?
Not really, no.
I'm just getting the value that I have in form of cash.
Yes.
And I exchange cash for goods. But a person, imagine this Mapira guy, or this, I don't know whether Mapira woman or man. Huh? I think she's a woman. Then ask, I benefit from SMM. There is no benefit in business. No one pays for your profit. They pay for the value you are giving them. They don't pay for nothing. But just understanding commerce. I mean, was Mawere getting the funds from SMM? Just asking. There was no funds. I didn't work for SMM. Never received a salary or even a dividend because I was not a shareholder. But how else can you explain this? Yeah?
Is it possible, Mr. Mawere, moving forward, could she? We can.
Then somebody says, Anzi, can we focus on BhukuReBenzi? I'm not Benzini. I mean, can't you just get over that? I'm not insane. So if there's somebody who wants to focus on BhukuReBenzi, Facebook is open.
Okay. What I was going to say, Mr. Mawere Degochi, any questions, any questionable things, confusing now, whether it's Uncle Signoro or whether my brother Mufuzi or anybody else. My questions, then you just a bait.
But I don't have but you're already going somewhere. I'm just saying I don't have an obligation to answer because they don't answer any questions about who they are.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
I totally agree.
But why should we? If I bought a company and the seller was happy, that's the end of the story. Did you own SMM? No, I own Tate Guru SMM. But mwana wangu, asi mwana wangu. Muzukuru wangu.
Mr. Mawere, Musapiwa BP, listen, you are an individual and you've got human rights. You are not obligated to answer any question and you're not obligated to explain anything, okay? You are not mandated to be answering any question. If something, or whether it's your history or anything like that, that's you.
No, but the little minds play people. They don't play issues. Apanam not issue. You are right, Mason. But there are people who come here arguing with you about your life. Yeah? And I don't know which it is. Uri fugitive. Diga kurosa boda. Ongari kupiko ewe ndichikurosa. Hands wakapamari ndakabira niko kana angari pocket mako. Why did you go to the police? Why do you need to come on Facebook live? Huh? Why do you need, imagine what a nunzere waku describe nyama ndo profession yako. Eh?
munhu achimake a statement kuti you are a fugitive, because a fugitive haina expiry date, haukova a fugitive for 5 years or for 4 years. A fugitive is a fugitive forever. So once you are deemed
so Joe Arguti, why does your name get dragged in SMM? You are the one who is saying that. As long as you are involved in something, your name will be dragged. Kanauri nunzi, hapana antu ane nunzi, wantu anazveminyama. Kana munhu asina bhora no makirine. Yeah? If somebody says, I'm not well informed, like Mgoma Masimba said, I'm not well informed, then that's fine. But don't come here well informed, like what Mufudzi was talking to you. I mean, Mason, you think he's got a PhD on me through SMM, according to him? Yeah? After mwana wangu. Yeah? Then he wants to argue with me. Anzi muzukuru mwana wakwewe. Yeah?
Oh God. Saka, moving forward, this is what we need to do. We need clarification and transparency. But and I think Mataure Mimi, Mr. Mawere, you are not obligated to be to be put on a hot seat and to be answering any questions about your life. Upenyu. Zvakafanana nemimi. Imimi amukause kuro monditi Mason, answer these questions. I won't be obligated to answer you anything at all. Sakachi, vanhu kana vachikubvunza questions or making assumptions nezvinhu zvavakaverenga, something about you or something they think they know about you, and kana vakaunzwa facts, then they need to just bow down kuti okay, ndandisingazivi zvakati.
No, it's actually okay, because we learned from the Second World War. We learned from the Holocaust. We learned from the First World War. We learned from even Gukurahundi. Things that happened in the past, they are very good to learn. All I'm saying is, like BhukuReBenzi, that people will say, but Mawere, why do you associate? And they're trying to make a decision. There are many people who seem to be educated, but they're not, they're fools. So what do you do when those who appear to be educated end up being the people who have nothing to offer, who know everything but know nothing? So that is where the problem is. So if when we say C to C, there are some people who have come to me and say, Mawere, I've learned something I didn't know. You understand?
100%.
So if like you, I remember, you remember the article that you were reading with Mgoma Simba one day? I wrote it.
Yes.
And the words that I wrote in 2009, nothing has changed. Did you read it? Do you think Mfudzi has got even the decency or patience to read that? Or he says he knows everything. He has nothing more to read. He's downloaded everything, or he's full. He's fed up. He knows everything. How many people do you know who are willing to learn from other people's experiences? Yeah? How many people they think they know? Somebody was listening to Mgoma Simba's video, and he was talking to Mason. He says, I was driving for about 300 Ks. And while he was driving, he was listening to what you guys were talking about. You know what his conclusion was? He says, I actually learned a lot about rule of law, constitutionalism. I didn't know who Rita Makarau was. I didn't know what the judgment was all about. And today, my nephew who is doing law, this is what he wrote to me a few hours ago. He tells me, I'm actually thinking of making the Zim re-judgment and the 2010 SMM case the topic of my dissertation.
Oh, wow.
What aspects do you think would be of interest? Then he says the right to be heard in regard to access to the courts. But do you agree that I was a witness, and perhaps the constitutional question that can be raised could be whether a specification order divests and deprives a person of constitutional rights entrenched in the Constitution? Then his response was, definitely, that's another constitutional question. Chichausik was of the opinion that a specified person is an incompetent witness. In a democracy, that can never stand. What does incompetence mean to you? Then his response is, my focus is on the deeming provisions of a company. If a company is deemed to be an associate, it does not have local standard because Section 18 of the Recon Act and the 2020 case is clear in that this disability applies even to foreign companies. I mean that a specified person cannot depose to an affidavit without leave on an investigator. This came from your show. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yeah. So he didn't know. He's just doing a dissertation in his law studies. So he was saying, Uncle, I'm learning. I didn't know. All he knows is that's my uncle. Then I come here, I get insulted.
Well, like I said, I apologize for any personal attacks, and obviously, will not from me. But if you felt that you were attacked, and I apologize for you on that.
No, you don't even have to apologize because the truth doesn't change. I'm just saying is those who spend their time insulting others or trying to substitute them, what kind of disease is that will penetrate your mind, visit your mind, to imagine reality on your head and did not talk about your own life, which is easy because you can talk on this year, this is what I did. This year, this is what, on this day, this is what I did. You don't need to go and live someone else's life. Imagine you say you know somebody and I don't even know the person.
Yes, that's not good.
Because there are people who believe that Mawere ran away. Like Senor, in his head, however inflated like a balloon it is, he knows everything. And you imagine you impregnate someone's mind with your life. Huh? When there's a lot to celebrate about life. Just to talk about yourself. My name is Senor. This is what I did. I'm a fugitive. Why would you want yourself? Google Mawere. This is what the ambassador said. This is what you said. But how do you come there? How do they come even to want ndoenda kunyuchi, ndoenda kumbudzi, ndoenda kuimbwa chihukura, ndosvika ndomira pambwa kuti uri kuhukurirei? But I still have to move. So the dog will remain where it is. But imagine somebody comes to you and says, I know Mawere. Even through SMM, imagine you know Mawere through SMM, as if I'm a company. Then he says, I own SMM. I said, and I don't own SMM. Mwana wangu ndomuziva, muzukuru ndomuziva. Leonora, I'm not angry. If I was angry, then you would know different. I wouldn't be here. But I'm just saying we have a literacy course. There are many people who approach me under mentorship. And I'm already mentoring for free. Even talking to Mukoma Masimba is free. But let's organize. One day I'm not here. That's why I was telling one of my cousins to say, when I'm not there, who are you going to ask these questions? Can't you just Google? Ndakanzwa zvinhu zvitaurwa nana Sinyoro, ndakanzwa zvitaurwa nana Mupfudzi kuti makatiza sekuru, makazodai Mukoma. Ko pamakatiza ndepapi? Ndoti handiziviwo, ndinotonzwawo naSinyoro kuti handitaurirewo kuti pandakatiza ndepapi, pandandigara naye ndepapi, tati mubedroom imwe chete here, ndikatiza mubedroom iro rakasara rega. Yeah? Saka is missing me because I was sleeping with him. And I'm not gay. Let's respect gays. I've never seen this guy in my life.
Is it possible, Mr. Mawere, that possibly there might be information out there in public about you that is incorrect, and because of that, something about you and they came up to the conclusion based on the information that is out there?
No, you know, anything like Nunzi, it's not traga shit. And people write because we're bad. You know, in 19 when was that? In 2005, 2006, Matutu Duduzi Matutu, I hope I'm correct. He was editor of the newzimbabwe.com. So he said to me, Mawere, every time I talk to you, I learn something. And some of the things, don't assume I know them about companies. I don't have an understanding that you have. Would you consider writing a weekly column on New Zimbabwe so that you can be able to explain in your own words? I did that for maybe about 5 years. Every day, I would write as part of my contribution. Then Daily News asked me the same thing. Then I wrote as well for Daily News. Every week, 52 weeks, I would write. Then Newsday, when they started, the editor asked me, Mawere, I enjoy reading what you write. Can you also consider to write for me? So I then converted my writing into books, 3 books. One called When Minds Meet. That sometimes we never meet in terms of our minds. Because one mind may assume they know you, but they don't know me. They never ask what my mind is. That was one book. The second one is called Bridge to Prosperity, the story of mobile phone networks in Africa, tracing from the first mobile phone made in Africa to what the industry is today. And then the third one, A Revolution Betrayed, that those who thought independence was going to bring a material change in the quality of life, they must feel betrayed. But yet there was never a common or shared understanding of what independence was. For some, it meant to be in government. Even others think that being in government is the alpha and omega of life. So you have that. So, but they provoked me to say, Mawere, be the change you want to be. Document your stories, document your arguments. So the article you read, you saw that Mkoma Masimba just went to Google and found the story. So it means instead of me repeating that, I will be talking to people who have read it, who have questions. But clearly you are a virgin reader. You didn't even know about it. You see? And people like Mfudzi, even Signor, although it's written, they think it's coming from Satan. Because in their heads, there's an angel that tells them, imagine somebody saying, no profiter. But COVID, hamuwani. Yeah?
Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah. So when somebody says he's arguing with you to say ndakanzi kuti wakazochinja citizenship and ndaenda kuSouth Africa, you can't touch me. Ndatiza kuZimbabwe. I don't know how I crossed the border in Zimbabwe. Yeah? And this fugitive was running away, went to South Africa. Then I wave a South African passport. It's my biscuits or my sweets. And I just go to what? Cash and carry. I carry a passport called the South African passport. And a common sense, and a logic, and a reason. Then you wonder who is sick. Who is BhukuReBenzi? Who is Benzi? Yeah? Just applying common sense that South Africa is a sovereign country. I just don't go to the counter and say, give me a passport. I'm running away from Zimbabwe. Yeah?
Yeah, it's impossible. To those that do not know, kuna knows the Interpol, and Interpol, you know what Interpolice. So basically, it's a connection of Mapurisa all over the countries. So if you are a fugitive in one country, and the next country that you are going to, they would know information about you.
But the Zimbabwean government, Vana Tyson, Vana Jonathan, apply extradition. Sure, why can't they rely on the senior? Huh? Who apply extradition? And I want to hear from you. Imagine my life is just to listen to any barking dog. It barks at me so that I listen. Then I talk to the. I mean, there's a lot happening in the world that I don't know. Somebody, this afternoon, divine and arugundi pengera sterek. And iwewe you allowed Chipo to defame me because I was asleep. I don't know what happened. Can you ask? I mean, just the language, the rudeness. I'm doing something else, and he's telling me. He sends me a picture of him naked. And I said, okay, what do I have to do with the naked picture? She goes, because you are C2C, you must tell this woman to stop it. Because I don't know, Chipo Angaripone Zuru. You know how I knew it?
I don't know who Chipo is. I don't know who the.
No, she was here yesterday. On the show with Mkwama Simbain before that. I met her through even Divine Watch. Somebody, she calls me, she knows me, she tells me, Mawere, I'm so angry with you. Wakati zaku Zimbabwe, the same narrative. Wakati za papi konai. I don't know her, but she knows me. So I said, do you know that I've not been in Zimbabwe, I've not lived in Zimbabwe, received mail for 32 years. She says, no, you can't be true. I know all the people who worked for you. I said, there are many people who worked for me, but I don't know them. I'm disadvantaged. Yeah? So, I can't phone her. I know Divine. Divine. And I've never met him in my life. Don't go more about social media. She goes, no, he's your young man. That other young man for social media. You understand? Then now that join us C2C, Mawere, we need the rules. Because you cannot remember C2C. Why don't you put the rules? Yeah? Why do you need me to supervise grown-ups? So my picture, Anna Chipo release my picture. I don't know Chipo. I have not met her in my life. I only see her. Can you imagine? Huh? How demeaning is that for women? She can't speak her mind on an issue.
Can I ask you a question, Mr. Mawere? Nyaya Chipo na divine yakashika kwa Muri say.
What happened is somebody invested money, my bitcoins, doctor in Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
Maria and no varuza that investment. So Chipo called me because in her own mind she knew me. Akati no, iwewe unozwana divine because in rumor WhatsApp groups are not divine. They got no, I cannot vouch for anybody that I don't know. I don't know divine. But divine, why don't you talk to divine wacho? Because when you were doing my deals, they knew. I was never part of this. Why do I come up when there's a problem? So I did the three-way line with divine. This is Chipo, about you. Guys, can you sort out your problems? Back and forth. I said, no, my ears are only valid for 24 hours per day. If I continue to listen to what you are doing, actually I become part of the problem. So please spare me from hearing anything to do with you two. Because I have no time to listen. That's why we need a community. I'm not selector. Wait out dispute resolution. Not inini. Because the more I listen to one and listen to another, the more I become a problem to both. Because one thinks I'm favoring the other thinks I'm favoring the other. So yesterday he says, Chipo is going to release my nude pictures. Is that I told him before? If they are no your nude, just they're already in the public domain. I don't want to see anything. There are many nudists I know. They don't need to wear anything. So why do you worry if you are in the picture? Just get over it and say it's me. What is the problem? Unless you get to operation, you can change your weapons. It doesn't change my life. So why do I need to know your nude pictures? So he sent me the nude pictures as if I know they are on your page. Yet my page is open. No, can you take it off? That I'm taking it off because of you. So I took it off. So I took it off and got okay. Then I could know. Can you tell Mkoma Masimba and got Benzi Taura Naroga? Hey, why don't you talk? And Mkoma Masimba that one 4,000 one. I got 4,000 people who are watching these nude pictures. I can't remove them. And that one BhukuReBenzi. Manut you are. Sakaiwo Mawere, where do you come in? I told you I'm my mentor. So I'm not. You are not my advisor. I now have the nude pictures. Because you enjoy them if they're yours. But why would you want to keep nude pictures of somebody? I mean, but imagine it's consuming. Chipo is calling me. This one is calling me. Everyone is calling me about nude pictures. And I don't even have time to listen to that nonsense.
Wow.
And akusungisana uyacharipota kuFBI wacharipota kwakati ndikati iwe na divine na Chipo Are they nude pictures that belong to you? Yes. So get over it. Saka Mkoma Masimba is happy with any chapter Divine. I'm Pinza. Because 3 weeks ago, I advised Divine, go BhukuReBenzi. Unotaura nemanude acho. Urma preempt akaramba zvikanzi no, I don't want to be in the public domain. Before these things come, they will come anyway. If they exist, just make sure that you are prepared that they will come. You lose nothing. Just take it as a person and say, this is what happened. Who suffers? But Argudichi, no Mawere, I must go and intimidate Chipo. You saw Chipo yourself. Can you intimidate Chipo?
No comment, Miss Mary, because I don't know the lady.
Yeah, just get to know her. And she was here, and people think Atumwa, she's an assassin, Atumwa Namawere. Even Senior Anga, don't what Senior Aga Ro, technical knockout. He couldn't even speak. Yeah, but imagine you get to this level to say divine. We are not talking about moving forward or what is lies tomorrow. We're talking about all this nonsense about nude pictures. What value is that going to me?
Yes, we need to focus our energy and our concentration in nude pictures. There is nothing new under the sun. We are all born naked anyway. Saka, being naked is not something new. It's not something. Saka, yes, the advice I can tell the brother, they would yes, it happened. Just move on, and so what? Be it.
But if they exist, they exist. Yeah. Somebody took a nude picture. I don't know who that is, but they exist. If they exist, just get on with it. Than somebody calling you a fugitive. And yes, there's nothing. When she producer, Mavi 11. Hapana. Then once Chipo, I've not met Chipo in my life. Can you imagine? Yeah? A woman can't speak her mind. And others want to substitute her and demean her. And that's what I was saying. Chipo was saying, my friend, divine, tell divine, Chipo, you understand what's the problem. She called this morning, and no, I can't. He can go to hell when he is busy attacking me on social media and Kambakwe and telling everyone that I'm an assassin. And he thinks it's funny. And I'm an assassin of Mnangagwa. That's what she accuses Divine. When he fabricates rubbish about my family and friends, Ashwotomuka, he thinks he can get away with it, auntie. So she calls me for voice. I said on a conference call, Divine akajaizwa. Zvaanosorofonera ma-airlines achiwotomuka about my name and anofunga kuti akakwangwara. This time anyangira yaona hazvipere mushe. I haven't started even kuofisi kwavakuru nokumatare tinosvitsana. Trust me, Mr. Mawere, I'm going to sue him for every cent that he doesn't have. Vana Vimpai, Leo, Nana Fungisai, Nana Gresha, and all other women, Vaishunguruza, before Achiripira, Matadzo Ake, Auntie, he said, I'm a spokesperson, na lawyer. Kana neni naye, foot lawyer. Tosangana kuofisi kwa ED, kwa anondishambadza kuti ndinoshanda achindiratidza contract yacho yebasa racho raanondiendesa mbiri. Ndakatsamwa ndozobhupa kubayiwa majekiseni nokuzora mafuta okutsvukisa rimurume risinganyare risina mwana at 50 years kana mukadzi kana muzukuru haana apa zvikwereti hobu kuamerica akutoda kuponera panjuga dzecrypto dzaasingagone kutamba futi akatambisa mukana aivepi imi vamwe varume muchiisa tsoro dzenyu mundima. So that's cheap.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's
right. That was a message, yeah.
Yeah.
In Hangu, obviously, I do not know the two individuals. Saka andizive nyaya yacho, andizive divine wacho, andizive chipo, andizive nyaya yacho tikatangira papi. But yes, I wish they could come up with an agreement while we're running. Because obviously, morally, Mr. Mawere, obviously, it's not nice with the picture goes not fake. It has a circulate out of nowhere. But on this what happened, what is the motive, what is the reason? Saka, I can't say much about it.
But that's what I told. I said, please, can you excuse my ears? Just for the, I don't want to hear too much detail about how naked, whether you are in the picture or not. I have not even looked at them. So I don't have time to start looking and analyze whether this is your weapon, this is a cropped weapon. I've no need to go there. Just, but if you know they exist, I told him we had a 3-way call, Namkoma Masimba. Akaramba kuya pamukoma Masimba. Now kuti Mawere, why is Chipo on Mkoma Masimba? Ndikati I can't stop it. She asked me, we're not judges, jury. This kangaroo court doesn't offer sandwiches and lunches. It's boring. Okay, somebody says we are boring. But someone asked, somebody asked, we should not be boring. I mean, but imagine somebody comes on a platform, we are boring. And your kangaroo court. I mean, how do you move forward?
Well, to answer that question, Kanamuna Kati, answer you are boring. If they got anything interesting to talk about, or the other thing is, if you are bored, you got two options. You can either keep on watching or listening to what's boring, or you can log off. That's not a very complicated choice.
No. You know how we are panels of visit. I imagine you are visited by people you don't know. And they visit you, they expect you to be interesting. But without a contract with you. And you must read in context. No, I'm just teasing Mercy, but she's taking it seriously. That's what you get. I'm just teasing here. I mean, the ones wanting us to make a judgment. No, she's talking about people who want to judge. Where are these people? So I don't have a divine doesn't want to come here. He's pissed off with me. He's pissed off with Chipo. And both of them, I've not met them in my life, but they are all pissed off that I must have some dictatorial powers to stop people from doing what pleases them. When they're pissed off with me, hanzi Mawere hanzi akarwisana Mnangagwa, hanzi akatora bag akatizana akaenda kuSouth Africa, hanzi aenda kuSouth Africa and ndobva anzvenga nemari nevakuru. Saka vamwe vanenge vati takazozviona munhu, imagine somebody anotorota chako kurotomoka. Hanzi company yanga iri owned kuUK, I bought the company in the UK, zvonzi yava nemudzimu. Zvakamboitika pamugodhi une mudzimu. A few months after this acquisition, I get a call from the late Sipa Sumsipa. She goes, Mawere, president havasi kufara neacquisition yawakaita iyi. Ndikati ko president unanokwana papi? Zvikanzi president pandakavaona vanga vachiti havasi kuziva kuti kampani yakatorwa sei. Ndikatorwa nanizve. Zvikanzi ndo zvandakanzwa. Ndoenda pafunction ndoona president varipo, ndovabvunza kuti ndakazwa navamusipa kuti you are not happy with this transaction. Zvikanzi ini haisi kubva kwandiri, hanzi vamusipa vanoyera gumbo, saka mai vangu vanoyera gumbo, saka ndoti ndisekuru vangu vakauya nevana vavo kumba vachikomplaina kuti nhai president makasangishena dhiri raMawere muchisiya isu vana madyira sekuru venyu. Zvikanzi napresident ndikavati ini handitombozivi kuti Mawere akatenga chii, zvaakatenga kwakatenga kupi. Ndikati is that so? Zvikanzi indanovabvunza ndo vakauya kumba kwangu nevana vavo vachindo MP wokuzishavane, and vanga Dadaya mission, or there was a long story yana Garfield told nanani vakutaura ngano dzana told ne is it Dadaya or something? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Saka that's what happened. Ndozodzoka kuna vamusipa kuti naiko mudhara munonyepereiko nai. Ndikati ko, why do you include the president? Kana uri angry, just say I'm angry. You stand on your feet. Why do you need to report me? Kune hama yako. Yeah. No, ndachingoti pari kufa vanhu mugodi underground and mudzimu haina kudini, taiti mubike doro toita chi totenda mudzimu takatenga. Ndikati kana ndine chikwere unotenda ani manje? Zvikanzi no, tikambotenda vadzimu. Ndikati vadzimu vanoziva chikwerete. So that is what happened. So there are many people who would assume. Yeah.
Right.
Saka, let me tell you for once, I don't know Mufudzi. I don't even know his name, you know that? Sometimes anombozviti hanzi mushana murefu, and I've
radio station kwamaizivana because
anga asingataridze face yake. I only saw him, then I took him to a function in Pretoria when he was in South Africa.
Saka, you met him once?
Yeah, I met him once. After the radio. No, but I don't know, why don't we build a community instead of I don't want why should I go in radio? $30 cheat. A long story. Pamano bodanda kutaura nezvana mbuya nehanda, ndoti naye mbuya nehanda vakafa. What is happening tomorrow? Ndikataura nezvana mbuya nehanda 24 hours ndakapuwa for free. Then don't you think mbuya nehanda vakadini? Vakafa vakaitawo life yavo.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Saka, okay, to in conclusion,
That-
Mr. Mawere Dashakuti, let's not make assumptions. Let's not come up with statements before we have facts. Let's have the real information before we even come, especially on public, and especially when involving other individuals. So moving forward as a country, as a nation, and as a people, saka make sure you have information about something and correct information about something. Nekuti shi zvanokwasa kuita kana zvanokwasa kutaura zvinokwasa kuita sekuinferiorita somebody else. Saka moving forward, I think those are tiapedza chitaura. Mr. Mawere.
Okay, no, thank you very much, Mason, for taking the time to be here. I think that the best is there is no one with the right answer. History is a reality to some, speculation to others, superstition to others. But all we know is what has visited us as we inch towards death. And when we move in life, we all move and stand on our feet. Each step is an unknown. We don't know. But I can't argue with someone's past. It's none of my business. Even as we talk about divine, if there are nude pictures, there is nude pictures. It's none of my business to share them because I'm not in the picture. But when somebody takes a decision to fight another person with nude pictures, then we must examine ourselves and say, is this the kind of civilization that we want? What kind of life do we want? I take a camera and take someone's private parts. Then even if I am not there, I take that picture and make it a commodity because I'm angry. Let's disagree without being disagreeable. We all know what we have to do. But let us not go that far, where we then become a problem to ourselves. So as we look out, all we are saying is myself. I will not talk about Mason. I don't know you. And then I become an expert because I have read about you. If I'm engaging you, let us respect each other. We all don't have to agree. If you give me your version, I have no choice but to accept what you tell me. If you say it's raining where you are, it's none of my business to start arguing how much rain. If I left Zimbabwe, whether by force or by voluntary choices, let me allow the people in Zimbabwe to be the experts on what they have to go through. Let me use my limited time to share my own experiences so that we have a festival of experiences, a festival of ideas. I guess if I was quiet and I didn't have to expose myself to this, others may respect me, others may vilify me, but coming out to say, let's engage, learn about rule of law, learn from the examples that we have, learn to be angry. If somebody steps on my toe, I must be the one crying. But to find someone in Japan or New Zealand crying on my behalf or saying it was not painful, or a woman who is raped and say you liked it, how could you be raped? How could you be abused? Mawere, tell us the truth. There's a bigger story about evil. Somebody, why did they do that to you? Why did they do that? Because there's a bigger story, because we want to be superstitious. But when the same bigger story visits Wange, Air Zimbabwe, Sabi Gold Mine, the same people turn a blind eye. So, Mason, you were asked yesterday, you were asking a very pertinent question. Do you know Mawere yourself? Yes or no? Yes, I know him, but through SMM. Can you imagine how lousy the answer is? You know me through a logo. If you know me, call me your friend. Don't call me somebody you know just because we meet on Facebook live without plan, without anything. And let's talk about building institutions. No, I'm not interested. But I want to be an expert on who Mawere is. Then somebody says Mawere wants to rewrite history. You can't rewrite history. If you got facts, there's a guy called Lakson Chimedza who thinks he knows something. And let us hear from Lakson. What is your history yourself? Tell it as it is. But don't come here to tell Mawere's story. When it's already there, you can take your version. You can go into the internet and search. I've written about it. It's not for me to defend myself against shallow-minded people. Because if you know me, then be me. You don't need to substitute me. You just take yourself to be me. And then say, this is Mawere. I know him. Write a book about me and start from chapter 1 and see how far it goes with your imagination. Yes. Mr. Mawere, do you know yourself who you are? I don't have to know myself. I just live life. If I had a campus, a pathway, I would have told you I was going to meet you today. And all we are saying is I am not a person who was given the wisdom to know what I don't know. Even to know what death is, I don't know. Because there are many people I have in my phone book who are dead already. But in my mind, they're still alive because I have their numbers. And every day I wake up, I say, let me call this one. Let me call that one. And there are many I've called only to hear bad news. That this friend of yours has been dead for the last 10 years. Some for the last 20 years. But I still have their number. Vivid memories of things that we shared. But they're gone. I don't even know what tomorrow holds. So I don't know who I am. For me to tell you who I am, but I can tell you what has been exposed to me by life. And or lost, is anyone interested in Mawere, or it's what you have achieved or lost or you experience that they interest? I don't even know, Mercy. There are people just who want to attack. They think there's some David versus Goliath. So if they think you are Goliath, they want to bring you down to their level. So if it's a minimalist approach, which is a human approach, that let me bring him down. So that is where you have as if they are Muzimu themselves. So let's leave it there because we have, I don't live in the future. I don't live in the stars. I just walk. Every step I make is a precedent. I don't even know whether I'll break my feet, but I keep on walking. So I don't know what I don't know. So Mason, thank you very much. And Mufudzi, add me. Let's share. I think we have shared enough, Mufudzi, and I don't think we have any more that is there. If you, I'm intrigued. I'm Kwama said, Mawere, this morning you were saying, I want to learn from you, and I want to show you that what you have shared with me, I've understood it. And I said, good luck. Do it for yourself. Don't do it for me. But don't bring me to a show to fight Mushana. I don't need to debate with Mushana about my life because I don't know who he is. I don't know whether Mfudzi is Mfudzi. Who is he? Musana Nyange. I don't know. But if he wants to share, by all means, when I leave this, he can also share, so that I don't have a fight, I don't have a dispute with Mfuzi. But he must respect my space, I respect his. When he wants to share about his own thing in his own words, let him do so that I may know who he is. There are many things that we can do than fight, than argue about my life, because I'm not going to bring it back. I have no reason to, but I can't spend 1 hour, 6 hours talking about Mawere. I don't know who is who. I don't know who Signoro is. Unclick, I don't know who he is, but they know my name. Zimri, Shagamira say, again, Signoro, read what other people are reading. Google and talk to issues. If you want to learn something, don't ask me about things that I have lived through. It's not coming back. We have less years to go than what we have seen. So I think if Masons are willing to learn, by all means, and let's learn together, and let's get to know what lies ahead through what we do today. Let's prepare for war in times of peace. Let's prepare for peace in times of war.
Absolutely, absolutely. And thank you very much for having me, sir.
All right, no thanks.
Okay, all right.
All right, thanks. Yeah.